Hey, it's Terry. I wanted to pop in real quick. I already started on this. I'm painting some glass ornaments and I'm doing the insides. I've practiced on one painting a cute little scene on the outside, and you know, when you buy these ornaments, they're clear. These are some flat ones. I've got round ones and flat ones in a couple of different sizes, but you can't really too much see the painted stuff on the outside, and I put a lot of effort into it to not be able to see it so, hey Tanya, to not be able to see it so good on the outside. Then these are Dairies, which is Michael's brand, and I ordered these off of Amazon, and them fools put them in envelopes to mail them to me. Luckily, these two boxes came good, and the one that they put in a box of all the crazy things is the one that had a broken one in it, which was the round ones. But I wanted to try one thing first today, and I'm going to try to, well, I'm not going to try to do that. What I did first was use the DIY golden ticket. See if I can get that close enough for you to see, which is their liquid patina. And I just, what I did was put some in a tiny little cup and then pour it in through the whole, well, first I tried to use a spoon. First I tried to use a tablespoon, and I kept spilling it all over the outside of it. So then I decided to put it in a little cup and pour it in. So that's what I did. And then I twisted it and turned it and twisted it and turned it in it. And I'm putting them upside down in these little cups to drain, which is going to end up wasting a little bit, but my time is also valuable. So I'm not going to worry as much about wasting a little bit. I poured everything I could in the beginning whenever I got done with this color, which looks really cute. It's a kind of a muted gold on there, but I'm letting these drain overnight, so I don't know what they're going to look like. So I'll come back tomorrow and let you see. But I also and I'm going to show you in just a minute how I did this one. This one is Fancy Farm Girl, and this is one of the little kind of flat ornaments. So I have some of the DIY paints in these squirt bottles here from our things over the weekend, and I just squirted a little in there, and it was pretty thick and taking too long for my patience, so I added a little water in there too, which let it, you know, swirl around real good. And DIY paint's so thick anyway that with the clay base that it just worked out really quickly and really well. And then I wanted to try out, I have a limited number of these flat ornaments, and they're going to be so much easier for me to use either the DIY or the acrylic paints on. And in my mind when I got them, of course it was going to be acrylic paints because that's what I usually use my tiny little brushes on for doing, you know, minute decals and things. But if you saw the videos where I was painting the hats and things this past weekend using the DIY paint, man, that was so much easier. So, and I know it's supposed to stick to glass real well, so we're just gonna wait and see what happens on that. So, but here I used the Dark and Decrepit, which is also a liquid patina, and just sort of filled this one up. What I put in there was about 2 tablespoons. Then I drained some back into the container, and then I'm gonna leave it overnight in that to cool. This one is a different brand, so we can see what's going to happen here. I may pour this back in real quick. This is the and I don't know whether to or not, so we're learning this together. This actually was the Dixie Belle brand in the copper, and I added the this liquid patina. I squirted a little of that in there with it. And ooh, I can see where it's already turning just a tad in one of the places in there. So that there's apparently actual copper in this paint, and whatever is in that squirt bottle there activates the copper particles that are in this paint and creates a patina. So I'm going to leave that and see how it looks. But I wanted to show you how this one's working. So you just pop the tops off of the ornaments, and I'm going to do this one in the old 57, which is DIY clay-based paint. I'm going to squirt in, that's probably 2 squirts, that's probably a teaspoon and a half in there. And you can just swirl it all around this way, and you can use craft paint for this or whatever you want to do, but I'm going to add a tad of water now because I'm impatient. And like I said, this paint is so thick already that it still works well to coat when it's has water added. So I'm estimating there's a teaspoon and a half of paint in there, and I'm going to put that's about a third of a teaspoon of water in there with it. Watch this. Well, you didn't see anything magical happen there, did you? I probably put too much water. Hey, Danette. Shaking, shaking, shaking. It doesn't have to be completely opaque in there. I can still see where you probably can't, but I can because of the light here, the opaque, thicker amounts of the paint that aren't watered down in there yet. And I'm going to show you this too. It's not going to hurt to have this little bit of water added in. I'm just going to open this baby up and drain the excess back into my bottle, even with the water, because that's okay, because like I said, this paint's so thick you got to use water on your brush or a mist bottle or something like that anyway. Please don't tell me I got it on the outside. I got it on the outside. I'm just not wanting to tempt fate here that I don't have my apron on today, because y'all know I always have an apron on, and that's for a reason. This is a really, really pretty color, old 57, and so now the ornament is that color sort of through and through, and I'm just going to put it in a little tiny cup. These are like those cups that you put in the bathroom to drink your mouthwash out of or something like that. So I'm going to leave it hanging in that upside down overnight. And I'm going to still do, I have 2 more in this container. I still have Mint Chip, White Swan, and Boho Blue. And I'm going to do one of each of those to let dry tonight. And then I'm anxious to see if there's streaks on the inside or exactly how that works tomorrow. But the thing about it is that it's going to give me more of a surface to decorate on with my paints later, so that they have a background, so that whenever I go to that much effort to put you know, paint some pine cones or scenery or holly or, you know, Christmas trees or whatever that I put on here, when you put it on the clear one, you just can't you can't see the details of what you've done on there. But when you put it on a colored one, you can. So had I seen colored ones, I would have ordered colored ones, but whenever you're ordering the decorative ones this way, I didn't see them in colors. But this way I get to customize the colors, and these are going to go in my artisan market for sale. Hopefully they're going to turn out good enough for that. But they're each going to be one of a kind, and that's, you know, that's my goal here. So say you wanted to change your decor style or color of your ornaments this year. These are inexpensive. I do have a couple of boxes somewhere that I bought at Hobby Lobby on their 40% off, and you could buy just those, you know, 87-cent craft paints too if you want, and put a little of that on the inside and do the same exact thing and get new colored balls for your tree that way. And then add, if you have a Cricut machine or something like that, add vinyl stickers with your kids' names, grandkids' names, things like that on the outside, or sayings and things that mean something to you. Like I said, I'm going to paint a little bit on these, and I also have some of the IOD molds. I'm going to do that tomorrow, make some molds and glue those on the outside of these, and then put, or on some of the clear ones, and then put some of the DIY paint on the outside. And I believe that that's going to look really, really cool and hopefully gorgeous as it is in my head. It will be on the ornament, and I'll share that with y'all. And that way, if that turns out beautiful and it's something you'll want to try, you will have seen it done and know that it works. I thought about trying to make the white here go just on the bottom so that it could be snow or something like that, but I'm not gonna put that much effort in right this minute because it's almost the end of the day, and I hear a couple of people fixing to go home in the other room, and they may need me in there, so I want to be prepared to help if needed. Well, we may not be going to get a white one at all. It may have clogged up my thing. Let me just show you how I did it the other way then. Okay, you can also use a spoon. Okay, I need another one of those little cups and try to add a little bit less water this time. Oh, that's barely any drops of water at all, but and I just spilled that everywhere. There may be a little in here, we shall see. Yep, it's still thinning out very well. Shaking, tossing, and turning. I'm really hoping that there's a small amount of swirl to them and that it's not, you know, a completely solid looking ball as if I had went and got a spray painted one, which reminds me, if you don't have any of these paints, you can also, say you got a bunch of old red balls and you wish your tree was teal this year, go buy yourself a can of teal spray paint. I'm thinking about taking a whole bunch of these and instead of them being silver, painting them gold to go with some of my gold balls. And I bought some, they had some really cute ribbon at the Dollar Tree. I've already spent $3.99 a roll and $4.99, depending on the ones that I got, a roll on 5 or 6 ribbons that I'm going to use just to tie little bows on the top part at Hobby Lobby. And then I got a few of them another time I went when that was on 40% off. But I got ribbon that was just as cute at the Dollar Tree yesterday for $1 a roll. It says, you know, Merry Christmas on it, or has Christmas figures and things on it. But if you spray paint, you can spray paint the outside. But the reason that I'm wanting this paint to go from the inside is I'm worried about with glass is very easily, paint's easily scratched off of it. And I don't want a bunch of scratches on these things because they, you know, they're going to be all over the store here, and then people toting them home and then putting them on their tree and then unpacking them and redoing them next year, and I want them to be able to enjoy it. And I have not tried yet, and I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to use like Big Top or Gator Hide or liquid patina and figure out a way to brush that stuff on here whenever I'm done. But if I use the acrylic paints, and I'm worried about that, the clay-based paints will dry hard. So if that works, that's going to be ideal, and then I won't have to worry about it once they cure. But if I use the acrylic paints, for sure, I'm going to worry about that a little bit. And I think I'm just going to go get myself a couple of cans of like spray shellac or spray polyurethane, where I can just sort of puff a light coat over the outside of them to protect, you know, whatever decoration that I put on there. I mean, if somebody's going to the trouble to buy a hand-painted ornament, that, you know, that's something that they're going to want to have for more than just one season. Okay, so now we have the white on. So we showed your plan B of what to do if your squirt bottle doesn't work. You just use a spoon and spoon a little in there. It was about a tablespoon. And now I'm going to do one more with this boho blue. As I, how about that for cups falling everywhere? I thought I was going to use these larger cups, but my ornaments go way down in them, so I had to go back and get some smaller cups. But luckily there's a coffee shop in the next room, and I was able to just go and do that. So I would just about rather have all my teeth pulled than go to Walmart in the 4th quarter of the year. Okay, whoop, squirt, squirt. There's 2 good squirts of that boho blue in there. I'm gonna, while I have you on here and I have somebody to talk to, I'm not gonna add the water to this one so that I can compare the difference to the ones where I added the water and the ones where it's just straight, because I do see, and I'll show you that in just a minute, I do see that the old 57 one that I did is leaving some lighter areas, and that's going to be areas where there was more. I'm just going to squirt more in. Put a bunch. I do see some areas where the water hit the sides next to where the paint had hit the sides, and it's not a completely solid blend. Or if it's really important to you that it be a completely solid blend like this is going to be, then don't add the water. Let me show you this so you'll see what I'm talking about. This is, see, hopefully you'll be able to see that. I want to plug the hole just in case. See, it's a little bit lighter on the right hand side than in the middle. That's where more of the water went. But I believe that I'm going to be able to use that swirl to my advantage, and that'll be part of the character of this bulb and what makes it special. And if it's not, I'll just paint the whole outside of the thing with the old 57 and not worry about it. And open the top back up, because I squirted a lot in here. Drain some of this excess right back in there. You see that? See if I can get me a tiny cup without knocking the house over. And I'm not going to worry about wasting what will probably be the equivalent of, I would estimate, a half a teaspoon. I could worry about that. There's been days where I have worried about that, but this day is not one of them. I'm gonna shake out the best I can in here, and I'm gonna keep moving forward. And it's thick like syrup. If you ever poured out some Hershey's syrup, that's almost the consistency when you're at the end of the bottle and you're wanting it to come on out and get the very last bit of it in your glass of chocolate milk. That's about what that's like pulling out of there now. So now I'm going to just put it in this little cup, and I'm going to lean it over here to the side, and I just smeared all over the outside of it with my thumb, because that's how I roll. So let me see if I can turn it around here where you can, just knocked one over, where you can see. And not just see me. I'm going to turn it around. This is that, oh, it won't let me. And I'm sorry if I come back upside down. Facebook got mad about that movement there. Okay, so I'll just hold them up and show you again. Here's the round ones. This is the golden ticket. It's just draining down into the cup out of that hole. Poured it in the inside. I probably put half a tablespoon in there. Let it drain a little bit and poured the excess back into my container, and then got tired of waiting on it, and I'm just going to waste what comes in here. And I did 5 of those, and I will probably, those will be the ones with my more serious Christmas themes on them. Winter themes, I'll take a lot of time on those and put a pretty ribbon with them, and I will probably sell depending on the complexity of the ornament and what I do to them afterwards. They're going to definitely have a bow on them. Like I said, I'll probably spray paint some of these gold, and I have some really cute little hooks to go in those, and then the bow will go on there, and then they're going to have either the IOD molds and painting on the outside, or they'll have intricate you know, little holly leaves and berries and things like that on the outside. But depending on the complexity of what I do to them, they're going to sell for anywhere from $10 to $20. So the little bit of paint that's going to waste in these cups compared to the time that it will take me, you know, at my hourly rate that I like to make for myself, it makes more sense to drain the paint and spend my time wisely. So that's how I came to that decision. So I mixed water with some of them, which is going to be the swirl. I don't know who came on later, but there's you can see where it's a little darker and lighter in there, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. And then we've got a green one, a white one, what is that, Fancy Farm Girls, White Swan, Boho Blue, dark and decrepit patina, and I actually did one in the Dixie Belle copper and sprayed some of the blue patina inside it as well to see what that's going to be till morning. Sorry, I was getting a message. But we're going to stop now for today. I'm going to clean up my mess here in case they need me at work, and watch for tomorrow. I'll do another live showing how these came out overnight, if I would change anything, and we'll all learn together. Thanks for watching. Bye.